I am so thrilled to be here reading with these poets and in front of all of you, so thank you for being here. I'm particularly excited because the first poem that I chose to read is actually directly inspired by Sasha Debevec-McKenney. Sorry, when I'm really nervous, an involuntary gulp occasionally overtakes me. If that happens during a poem, if you don't laugh, I will cry. But I was actually on a flight reading Sasha's book, Joy is My Middle Name. That book set me on fire. I was so lit with inspiration, I didn't have time to look for my journal, and I started writing this poem in the back of Sasha's book, which is maybe sacrilege, but I think it is such a gift when we find work that directly makes us make our own. So thank you, Sasha. Those poems are amazing. Yeah. So this poem is after Sasha Debevec-McKenney, and it is watching The Greatest Showman on the plane as punishment for the cigarettes I smoked in San Francisco. I once broke up with a man who was moved by The Greatest Showman. Correction, I broke up with a man because he was moved by The Greatest Showman. I saw the tear glittering with the big screen's brightness, and I knew he was too good for me. By good, I mean uninteresting. I do not need Hugh Jackman using the power of song to convince me that gay is good. Gay is bad, and it feels so good being bad. Rihanna taught me that. Before my flight, I wanted to hide a lighter in my anal cavity so I could smoke in the airplane bathroom, but I rarely pursue what I want. Instead, I buried my American spirits in Matthew's trash. Matthew, the 73-year-old Airbnb host, hungry to speak, who lived in the house during my stay. We shared a bathroom. A picture of himself at Tvrdy, handsome as a sailor in a porno, was hanging above the toilet. The first time I made my father cry, I called him Popcorn Teeth. I was 6. To my credit, his teeth were the exact shade of Jiffy Pop. I like to believe his tears were tears of pride. I had inherited his meanness. I don't trust musicals because they're manipulative, using the cosmic tug of group choreography to make me feel emotions I wouldn't otherwise feel. Once, the man who loved The Greatest Showman risked an icy highway to pluck me from the wreckage of my totaled Camry, black ice, rolling semis. I broke up with him that very night, in his bed, under a nausea green duvet. A popular tweet: cigarettes are great because they let you microdose death. I disagree. I'm microdosing life, for nothing makes me feel more alive than the guilt that follows pleasure. On my last morning in San Francisco, hungover, puttering in the kitchen, I kept my AirPods in so Matthew couldn't speak to me. Pretended not to see his little wave. In just 6 months, my teeth have gone from Amish butter yellow to hangover piss. It's easier to blame the cigarettes than to admit the slow, inexorable fact, I too am popcorn teeth. The second time I made my father cry, he was slumped at the kitchen table, sobbing into his open Bible, begging me to fight the demon of homosexuality. Silly father. Homosexuals don't fight, we dance. Hugh Jackman taught me that. So I have one more poem for you. Any Ed Sheeran fans here? Well, if you are, this poem is not for you. Many Eds fled Sheeran. Ed, but a coward. Dead Sheeran, Ed, but R.I.P. Undead Sheeran, Ed, but even paler. Bread Sheeran, Ed, but sourdough. Bread Sheeran, Ed, but stuffed with a Dom top seed. Breaded Sheeran, deep fried Ed. Fred Sheeran, ascot Ed. Instead Sheeran, Ed, but your second choice. Homestead Sheeran, Ed, but holding a pitchfork. Red Sheeran, comrade Ed. Red Sheeran, Republican Ed. Red Sheeran, Ed, but left too long in the sun. Red Sheeran, Ed, but blushing because he's in love with the shape of you. Talented Sheeran, a myth. Beloved Sheeran, a myth. Led Sheeran Ed, but guided by the Holy Spirit. Led Sheeran Ed, but poisoning our water supply. Rabid Sheeran, frothy Ed. Inbred Sheeran Ed, but a sweet little pug. Inbred Sheeran Ed, but baked inside a giant ciabatta. Spoon-fed Sheeran Ed, but also the Gerber baby. Shredded Sheeran, swole Ed. Bearded Sheeran Ed, but still not hot. Brain-dead Sheeran Ed, but when he collabs with Justin Bieber. Shed Sheeran Ed, but rotting in your backyard. Shed Sheeran Ed, but losing clumps of hair. Grass-fed Sheeran Ed, but happy before he was butchered. Dread Sheeran Ed, but culturally appropriating again. Dreaded Sheeran Ed, just Ed. That's what I